Welcome to the N1IR Electronics blog. This is the third video of the SparkFun benchtop power board, and here it is completed. Now I did some changes. I put in a green one for 3.3, a green binding post for 5 volts. I kept the 12 volt one red and minus 12 volt yellow. Here's a spot for the LED and of course your ATX connector. So this is with the repurposed box, which I think was a great idea. Now let's open this up, and as you can see I did mine a little bit different. Now I put the fuses on the bottom side of the board, and the reason why I did that, if you take a piece of wire and you place a piece of wire in, it could have shorted against the fuse. So that's why I mounted the fuses on the other end. So it's completely optional to you. It's up to you if you want to do that or not. It's perfectly fine if the fuses are on the other side. And a couple things that I noticed about this board is that these pads are kind of close to the nut here. If you don't have the nut in the right position, you can have a possible short. I've seen this happen on a couple other boards that my student have soldered, and that's the case, that it actually shorted out and blew a fuse. So you want to be careful of that. In a redesign, I'm going to redesign this. I'm going to put some additional features on it in my design, but I'm going to move that back a little bit more so you have a little bit more clearance there. It's kind of tough to solder. As you can see, I burnt a post here because it was very, very close to the binding posts. So and the one I'm going to design, I'm going to move that over a little bit more. Speaking about my design, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to put a 317, an LM317 and an LM337 to get a positive and negative adjust on this thing too. And all you have to do is you just take a screwdriver and adjust the pot, and then you have adjustable 1.25 volt to 12 volt and minus 1.25 to 12 volt on the minus side. So that's what I'm going to have on my version. But anyways, pretty good kit, and you plug it in with the ATX supply. So here's the ATX supply right here. And again, I like the idea of the 24 pin socket. So I got a 20 pin in here, so these 4 pins aren't used in the supply. So in the larger supplies, like the 500 watts or more, you have the 24 pins. So I'm going to plug this in, and you can see the red LED turns on and it powers up. I'm going to grab my meter here. Okay, so you can see the display. So I've got, there's my minus 12, 11.75 for my 12 volt, my 5.1 volts for 5 volts, and 3.4 volts for 3.3 volts. So that's with this power supply. So it works pretty good. Very impressed with it. I really like that design with the box in it, because if you're starting out in electronics, you might not have a enclosure for this, and it's nice. It fits in there very nicely. I'm very impressed with that. It's a great idea. You know, it just takes me back to my college days when I didn't have that much equipment. This would be great. Back then, if I had this, I could have just plugged it in like this, and I'd be off and running doing my projects. That fits in there nice and tight, doesn't move anywhere, and then I have all my voltages. So that was the modification I did with this guy, is I changed just the fuse location because of just in case I had a long wire, it could have shorted against the fuses. And the first version my student built, that was the case, that she accidentally came across one of the binding posts with the fuse, and it wasn't a good thing. So I'm going to post the part number for this. You can get this at DigiKey. They're like $4 a piece. So I'm going to post the part numbers for that. And that's pretty much it on the project. I'm very impressed with it. Worked out very good. Now on the wiring, I made one wire and then as a template, and then I stripped the other one. So that's how I got this all nice and neat, is I actually used a little bit of a template for this, so made them all nice and uniform. Oh, that was the other thing. I had to cut these down a little bit because the actual post itself, let's take a look at another post that I have here, was almost as long as the nylon bushing there. So I had to snip off, you know, about a 1/4 inch off here. No big deal, but just if you're assembling it, you might run into that problem. And that's pretty much it. Very nice project, and I'm gonna post the my duplicate on this form as well, and I'll have the adjustable on each side as well. Not sure if I'm going to do through hole with surface mount on that. Probably I'm going to do through hole, but that's pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed the video.